Hi, friends. This episode of the Cozy Lung Lounge is brought to you by Hootenanny Joy, where your health and wellness take center stage. At Hootenanny Joy, we know how overwhelming it can be to stay on top of your health, especially when life gets busy or chronic illness adds challenges. That's why we've created self-study programs designed to meet you right where you are. These programs are simple, flexible, and packed with tools to help you thrive. And they come with something extra, access to a live health coach. That's me, to guide you every step of the way. Whether it's improving your sleep, learning to nourish your body, or managing stress, our programs combine proven science with practical, real-life strategies. You can work at your own pace, get the answers you need during coaching sessions, and feel confident you're making progress. Ready to take that first step? Visit hootenannyjoy.com to explore the programs and choose the one that fits your journey best. Hootenanny Joy, because your health deserves a little joy.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Cozy Lung Lounge. I am Amy and I'm here with Kelly. We are missing Gina today, but she should be back shortly. And today we're going to be talking about showering and personal care with breathlessness.
This idea all came from a post that I found on Facebook that had a picture that said, "When showering feels like you just ran a marathon." And I remembered a lot of my patients telling me showering is the hardest thing in the whole world to do, but they know they got to do it. Everybody needs to shower. And so I thought, well, let's make a podcast out of this because it's important. And there's so many things, little tips and tricks you can do to make it easier.
This is definitely not something that you would think of as a workout or a really hard activity for some people, but it really can be. So I think that this is a really important conversation to have because self-care is so important, and making sure that you can do it as comfortably as possible is perfect. So I'm really excited to talk about this today.
Well, one of the topics, if you've been through pulmonary rehab, you probably had a topic on energy conservation, which seems contradictory. We're always telling you to get out, move, and exercise, right? Now we're going to talk about energy conservation. But the point is you want to put your energy into things that will help you build strength and endurance and flexibility. So taking a shower won't do any of that. So we want you to conserve your energy when you're doing things like taking a shower, chopping, washing, cooking, vegetables for dinner, things like that. There's times we want you to conserve energy, and there's times when we want you to move it and get out there and really build some strength and endurance. So this is one of those times.
So I know when we're talking about showering as one of our self-care things in particular, there are a few concerns that come up with that. When you're showering, a lot of times you're showering with warm or hot water. And so that can create a lot of things like steam and humidity and an increase in temperature in your bathroom. So Kelly, how does that affect your breathing?
It's really individual. So I have patients tell me, I love the steam. I breathe so much better when I'm in the shower. And I have patients say, I cannot breathe with all that humidity. There's no way. So it's really, by now, I'm sure you figured it out, if steam is your friend or your foe. And so if steam really bothers you, if the extra humidity really bothers you, there are things that you can do, such as pour yourself first of all, get yourself a big watering can. Like you go to the 99-cent store, wherever it is, buy yourself a watering can, like for the garden. Fill that up with warm water. So now steam isn't going everywhere. It's just in the bucket. Hopefully you've got a shower chair. So you can get in, sit in your shower chair, and then you can pour this water on yourself as needed. And it's not creating a ton of steam as it would if you just ran the hot water in the shower. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing, get a lot of questions about oxygen and showering. Should I wear my oxygen while showering? Yes. And you should be checking your oxygen levels, your saturation levels with a shower. So if your oxygen levels drop while you're showering, definitely wear your oxygen. And a quick tip, a lot of people say, well, I can't get it, it's got to go in front of the shower curtain, and then I move, and then it's open, and water's everywhere. Just take something, screwdriver or something and put a hole through your shower curtain right at the level where your nose is. And that way you can have your concentrator sitting on the other side. You can just thread your cannula through that hole, put it on, and just be careful when you turn around to rinse your hair, but don't hang yourself. But at least it's there at that level. You're not getting water everywhere. It's not making a mess. It's right there. And you'll ruin your shower curtain, and I'm sorry about that, but it'll make your life easier as far as the actual taking a shower, if that's what you choose to do. And if you choose to do the bucket method, the watering can method, same thing. That way it's just, if you use a shower curtain for that, that way it's just at your level. If you're sitting down, put it at that level. And that way you don't have to worry about it getting tangled up or, pulling on anything, pulling off of your concentrator or something.
Well, and another thing that I talked about with somebody before who she really gets short of breath when she was dealing with taking a shower, even with her oxygen on, was we started turning down her room temperature a little bit before she would take a shower because it just made the room so hot. And it was partially the steam and partially the heat. And so at least just turning down the temperature and getting the room a little bit cooler before she showered made all the difference and made it a lot more comfortable. And she also opened a window, so there was plenty of ventilation. So, whether it's turning on the bathroom fan, keeping the bathroom door open, turning down the temperature a little bit, or opening a window, those are all really good ways to deal with that temperature and steam just a little bit. If you're like me, and I probably have to have that warm water on me the whole time because I get so cold. So there's other ways to deal with it as well.
It's really individualized. Like you said, there are people I know that would never shower with a window open or turn the temperature down because they get very cold. But at the same time, if all that steam is really bothering you, another thing you can do is a handheld shower. So if you like your bathroom nice and warm and your shower nice and warm, but you don't like all that steam and humidity, you can use the handheld and then turn the water off, do your shampoo, do your body wash, do everything, and then turn that back on again. So the water's not running while you're trying to lather your hair and shave and do everything else that we got to do. Sometimes that's helpful, but it really is individual. Some people just, they like the room hot, they like the room cold, they like the water hot, they don't like the hot water. So you'll figure out what you like. But I really think that wearing your oxygen, a shower chair, and having a handheld are really the 3 hallmark things that will make this easier.
Absolutely. And what about those who are more interested in taking a bath? I know that sometimes it can be hard to get in and out of the bathtub. It can be a little bit of a trip or a fall hazard. But do you think that would be helpful for those who the steam bothers them?
That's really hard to say because the bath is warm water, so that's a little bit of steam. I know that a lot of people do prefer a bath over a shower because all I have to do is get in and soak and then pretty much get out and they're clean. But it can be hard to get in and out. I would make sure if you really are going to do a bath, have somebody there with you to help you in case you need help getting out. And also to help you get in. It may be harder to get in and sit all the way down. If your leg muscles aren't really strong, you're going to have a very hard time getting out. If you have one of those walk-in bathtubs, like the shower, what do you call those? A walk-in tub with the door. Those are great because you can step in and sit down. The seat shelf is already there. Those are good. I know they're expensive, but it might be worth it to put one in to think about.
Kelly, what recommendations would you have for soaps and shampoos for anybody who's showering?
Unscented, please, especially if you know you're susceptible to shortness of breath over a particular scent. But if you can go unscented, that's best. A lot of people don't really connect the two, the certain scents of a body wash or a after shower lotion or shampoo, conditioner, but some of those things are so perfumey, and just go without that if you can. And I forgot to mention also, when you get out of the shower or the tub or whatever you're doing, a lot of people tell me that drying off is really difficult. If you get one of those fancy bathrobes, like what they have at the spas, like a terry bathrobe, all you have to do is put it on and sit down. And then you can kind of use that to pat yourself dry so that you're not trying to stand up and dry yourself off, with a towel. Just put that robe on and sit down and take your time. to dry off, but you'll be keeping warm at the same time. I wanted to mention that.
Absolutely. And what other safety concerns? I know we briefly talked about balance with the bathtubs, but what other safety concerns would you be thinking about with showering?
Most definitely make sure you've got a non-slip mat in the bottom. If you don't have any grab bars in your shower yet, I would definitely put some grab bars in and just make sure everything is where you can reach it. So you're not bending down to get things off of the tub shelf, or you're not reaching up to get something that's way up here. See if you can get a shelf installed right at arm's reach. Another thing that's important too, when you're in the shower, no matter whether you're sitting in a shower chair or if you're standing up, is making sure that that move where you've got your arms up overhead can really make people breathless. So sometimes just the act of shampooing or reaching up for something on a high shelf is really shortness of breath inducing. So just everything at that level. And if you do have to shampoo, again, maybe sitting in your shower chair with the handheld, so you're not having to stand there and do this for 5 minutes.
Absolutely. And it's also really important to have everything within reach. So making sure that you don't have anything up on a really high shelf or all the way sitting down on the floor, making sure that everything's at a comfortable level for you to be able to reach easily.
Some people install those, you know how when you go to a fancy hotel, right in front of you, they have body wash, shampoo, conditioner. It's just a little push button dispenser. You can buy those on Amazon for like $20. And then you just refill it once a month, have somebody refill it for you. And then you just push the button. Thank you. And you have what you need.
That's such a good idea.
Living with a chronic respiratory condition doesn't mean giving up the things you love to do. At Blue Zone Health, we're here to help you breathe easier and rebuild your strength. Our online cardiopulmonary rehab program offers tailored exercises, self-management training, and expert support from certified respiratory therapists. Accessible anytime, it's designed to reduce breathlessness, improve lung function, and empower you, all while connecting you with a supportive community. Visit bluezone.health and take the first step towards stronger lungs and a healthier future. Blue Zone Health. Breathe better, live better.
Kelly, what do you think about those the loofahs that are on a stick to make it easier to wash your back? Or I think there's different things for your hair that has a little extender on it. Do you think those would be helpful?
I think so. It really depends. If you go to pulmonary rehab and you're doing your exercises and you're keeping your upper body strength, keeping your upper body strong, you should be okay. But any of those little extenders, things like that, definitely a little long-handled back scrubber is good. Just be sure to change those out once a month because those can get moldy and that's not good for you. But any of those things are helpful so that you're not bending or stooping or really, contorting yourself into some funny position to try to get everything clean.
Well, I think we're about ready to move away from the showers unless you have anything else you want to talk about, moving on to kind of dressing and grooming.
Yeah, no, let's talk about some things that people can use to help. Once we've finished the shower, you've put on your fancy bathrobe and now you're dry. What's the easiest way to get dressed? What would you recommend?
Well, the first thing I would do is if you're already breathless after taking a shower, you're already a little bit tired. If you've got that nice warm bathrobe on, you can sit and take a break for 5 or 10 minutes and just catch your breath, have a drink of water, and really relax before you keep moving with everything else, because this can be a really taxing process during the day. But definitely when we're talking about getting dressed, there's lots of different adaptive tools that have been made to help you get dressed if that's something that you have concerns with, like we've talked about with moving those arms up over your head and reaching all the way down to your feet. I know there's little sock holders that help get your socks on really easy that have little ropes that you pull, and that just makes it a lot more comfortable to do activities like that so you're not bending over and feeling that chest compress a little bit. So do you have any other tools or anything that you've seen?
What I like to tell people is choose easy clothing. So I know we all We all have worn a variety of clothes and fashions throughout the years, but sometimes there comes a point where you just need something easy that you can slip on over your head. There's no buttons, there's no zippers, there's no hooks, there's no whatever. Just something easy to slip on over your head, and some easy pull-on pants that don't have things that you've got to mess around with. They may not look as nice as the way you would like them to, but there's a lot of cute things out there that you can buy. And even one of the most hardest things for a woman with COPD to put on is a bra. And just finding a bra that you can slip on overhead, not reaching around the back trying to get it done, or even if you want a front hook bra, that's a lot easier, finding something like that. But just a sports bra, put it on, done. And then over that, just a t-shirt where you can just put it on. That's it. If you have a shirt, like a button-down shirt, even that can be difficult. There's button hook helpers and things like that, but I just like the pullovers and the pull-ons. Make life easy.
Absolutely. And the good thing about us ladies is there's lots of different dresses you can wear. So if you like dresses and you want something that looks really cute for the day, you can always put on, a nice maxi dress that's easy to put on. It's not buttons, it's not lots of other things you have to deal with. And that can be really comfortable. And sometimes they come in with built-in coverage and support. So that makes it really helpful.
They do. And if that doesn't sound warm enough for you, you can always buy some leggings and buy them a size too big. Just find some cotton yoga pants, leggings, whatever, and slip those on under your maxi dress. No one will know you're wearing them, and they'll keep you warm. And they should be big enough that you can get them on and on. You're not going to go run around and do yoga in these. You're just trying to keep warm. So you can put those on, and then if you need a sweater, you can put an easy sweater on over that. But yeah, maxi dresses, especially in the summer, love it. Just have somebody drop it from above and it goes right on.
Absolutely. And I also think with shoes, those can be pretty difficult too, bending over to tie your shoes. There's kind of a happy medium between getting just a nice, easy slip-on shoe and then getting something that's really hard to put on, because you want to make sure you have that support and you have something that's not just going to like slide right off your foot and be a tripping hazard. So definitely, find shoes that are easy to put on. Maybe it's just a simple Velcro, or it's got something that fastens like a little zipper a lot easier than sitting there trying to tie your shoes. But make sure that you find something that isn't going to be a trip hazard.
Definitely. And those long-handled shoe horns, find some of those to help you get into them. They have those shoes. Skechers makes them, and a couple people make them where they're just step-ins. So there's no shoelaces. There's none of that. You just step right into them. And those stay on pretty well. But if you need a shoehorn, get a long-handled one to help you put those on. But yeah, shoelaces and things like that, those can really become difficult after a while.
Well, I guess transferring over a little bit into some of our other self-care things. So when you're getting ready for the day and you've gotten dressed and now you're needing to brush your hair and shave and brush your teeth, what are some tips and tricks that you may have for that, for when you're in the bathroom trying to get ready?
Well, as you mentioned, Amy, taking a break. So there's lots to do, especially females. We've got hair we've got to deal with. So brushing your hair, or if you shampooed, you've got to comb it out, and now you've got to dry it. And I'll talk about a dryer tip in a minute, but just getting your hair brushed and then letting it air dry for a minute. Sit down, take a break, have a sip of tea, relax for a minute. If you did not shave in the shower, you can shave at the sink. Again, sometimes people say, well, if I sit down, then I can't see what I'm doing. So a bar stool seems to be just the right height. So where you can, for men, you can shave, and women also, you can shave your legs if you still do that. And then brushing your teeth and flossing and all that stuff, same thing. Take a minute and just take a break and then go back. And then for hair, they have a thing. Remember in the old days, they had hair dryers that were like a big bonnet that you put on, and it was this little machine that you turned on. Well, now they make these bonnets, but it's got a long tube attached. So you take your blow dryer, your handheld blow dryer, put it in the end of this tube, and that warm air travels up the tube throughout the bonnet and dries your hair. And so that way you're not doing this and trying to style and do everything. You just put the bonnet on, hold that thing for 5-10 minutes, and it does all the work. Even if it just dries your scalp, right, and everything else can air dry, it's a lot easier. And it's a lot to do to get ready for a day, whether you're male or female. But there's a lot of tools out there that will just make it easier. But taking your time, taking breaks in between. Don't worry about being late. This is one of those things, asking for help again. It's just like, I need your help with understanding that sometimes I can get ready quickly and sometimes I can't get ready quickly. Deal.
And I think it's also a little bit about planning ahead. So making sure that you have plenty of time to get ready. Maybe it takes you 2.5 hours to get ready when it comes in with all of your breaks. So making sure that you kind of plan ahead and say, hey, I can't do an 8 a.m. activity because I can't get up, at 5:30 to get ready. Maybe waiting until 10 or 11 in the afternoon and giving yourself that time is going to be important.
That's really such an important point, Amy. And it's not uncommon for COPD, ILD, IPF patients to take 2 hours to get ready, because by the time you've gotten up and figured out what you're going to wear and had a cup of coffee and then come back and made sure you had everything you need. Am I going to shampoo today? Am I going to shave today? And all this stuff. It's a good 2 hours. So don't make your doctor's appointments for 8 a.m. Don't make them for 10 a.m. Make them for the afternoon. Don't make plans for lunch or anything else until it's going to be 2 hours. And if you sleep till 7 or 8 o'clock, just know that, and don't pressure yourself into having to get ready and not being late and all this kind of stuff, because that'll just make you more anxious and short of breath. So 2 hours is not abnormal.
Well, I think all of these ideas have been really great. Self-care is so important, not only for your physical health, but also your mental health. And it's important to find a routine that works well for you and that's relaxing and also doesn't cause too much shortness of breath. So definitely think about all these different techniques and tricks, and you can always share your tricks with us with what you do for your self-care to make things a little bit easier.
We would love to hear from you, any shortcuts that you've figured out. But honestly, I think it's really not feeling guilty or bad or anything because it takes you 2 hours to get ready, because it just does, and planning your day accordingly and not stressing yourself out.
Absolutely. And if you are in a pulmonary rehab program or you have a doctor's appointment, you can always ask them about different tips or tricks that they may have or they may know about to help you as well.
Most definitely. And then let us know what those are. Thanks for joining, everybody.
Thanks so much.
See you next time.
Hi, I'm Kelly, a registered respiratory therapist with Blue Zone Health. Do you feel breathless much of the time? Are you unsure of how to manage your breathlessness? Is it keeping you from doing all the things that you would like to do? I'm here to help you learn to work with your healthcare team to come up with a plan that will work for you. There are lots of tools, tips, and tricks and breathing exercises that you can do now that will help you breathe easier and more effectively. I look forward to joining you on this journey and empowering you to breathe better.